Welcome to the Rich Flow of Life podcast. Join Valerie Kanay, the award-winning authority author, as she takes you on a journey for your personal evolution. Valerie Kanay talks to enlightened featured guests who hold the keys to unlock your unique life situation. They each bring to the table their very powerful personal spin to inspire and empower you to learn to step up your game into the rich flow of life.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Valerie Kanay, and today our featured guest is no stranger here. We have Christian Yeung. Dan is no stranger to the Rich Flow of Life podcast. When I first started out, he was right there alongside with me, so I don't need to do a whole long introduction for Dan. But let me tell you something that is so interesting that I really love about Dan. He has committed his life to teaching you how to get the lifestyle, how to get the income, how to make your dreams come true, really for real. And you're probably wondering, how does Dan know how to do this? Well, he's the award-winning author of the book on personal development. And that's actually the title of the book on personal development. And he's also written several other books like Save Money, Build Wealth, as well as Dealership Deceit. Dan is so successful. He's a trainer and a marketer. And you know, a lot of people don't really think it's possible to have their dreams, to have the life that they want. They go to jobs, they come home, and they just settle for less. They just settle for anything sometimes. And some people don't even know they're settling, but you've settled, you know? And if this fits you, then this is a talk that you really want to hone in on. Because Dan understands that when people want something badly enough, you can imagine yourself having it in your mind. You can at least do that. You can imagine yourself having the life that you want to have. And the only person that's stopping you from having it in real life is probably yourself. So Dan is here with us today to shed some light on this and help you design and learn how to have the life that you were meant to live. On that note, welcome, Dan, to our program.
Wow, thanks, Valerie. Wow, what introduction. Wow, I'm so glad that I really love your podcast. I love everything you've done so far. You're a hustler. You're putting out so much value, and it is helping my life for sure. And it's helping change a lot of your listeners' lives out there.
Thank you, Dan.
So you're talking about what's the number one thing stopping you. And I'm talking to you, the listener, from truly what you getting from what it is, getting for life, what it is you really want. And you know what? Valerie is right. It is yourself. It is. Yeah, that is the truth. And you might not believe it, but you know, a lot of people, there are things that you probably want out of this life. Like you probably want to have a $10 million company. You probably want to save the world. You want to end hunger. And you know what? It is actually possible for you to do those things. Your mind is funny. If there's something that you really want, it is actually possible for you to get it. You just have to know. Yeah, you just have to know how to do it. And actually, I have a 7-step formula, success formula on my website at Personal Development Book, or the book at personaldevelopment.com, where you can go check it out. But it is. And it's actually not just what you're doing. It's also in your beliefs. So when we're raised, you're given, when your parents and teachers and school and all that, they've given you beliefs. They have you believing that you can only do so much. You shouldn't be dreaming. You should only be practical. You need to have a job, a day job, because they think that you'll have the largest salary possible if you do that day job. Yeah, the thing is, you need to visualize what you want, and you have to start working towards getting that. You need to actually see yourself in possession of what you want, and then you need to start working backwards from there. And you need to believe that you can actually have anything that it is you want.
Very cool. So what about, Dan, for the people that have did a little bit personal development before, and they say, I've tried to visualize, I'm having a hard time to visualize. Is there any tips you can give for a person like that, maybe? Who say they can't see it because they can't see it, you know?
Well, here's the thing, and I've actually heard quite a few people say they don't have the ability to visualize. So what I do is, and you, the listener, if you're one of these people, I'd like to suggest, can you think about your car, for example, in your mind? Can you think about your car? Now, go into the glove box in your car and open it. Now, if you open it, there's a little box and there's something in there that you don't typically see in a glove compartment. What is it? And if you can answer that question, and normally I have people tell me like they see a horse or they'll see a menu for their favorite restaurant, that's still visualization. Not everybody can see physically in pictures like some of us can. But if you have the ability to come up with ideas in your mind and perform the exercise that I just took you through, that is actually visualization.
Ah, awesome. That's great. Okay, good example too, Dan. And the other thing too is like we know quite a few people because you and I run in the same circles as far as personal development is for us. You know, we go to seminars, we go to workshops, we keep ourselves motivated and inspired regularly because that's what it takes to really build yourself up and become the best human being that you can become. But now you do see some of the same people attending these workshops and these seminars, and they don't really seem to get any further ahead in life. What is that all about?
And you know what? That is an amazing question. And Valerie, and that is true. Like I'll go to seminars every year and I'll see a lot of the same people. But the thing is, like the person on stage is teaching amazing, life-changing stuff, how to boost your income, how to be happier, how to live in a healthy body. And these people's lives don't seem to change. And you know what the thing is? A lot of these people, they go to these seminars, they learn a whole bunch of stuff, and then they go home and they do what they were always doing. They don't take home some of the things they learned, some of the ideas. And here's the thing. A lot of the gurus out there, when they teach you stuff, they don't give you a method to keep it up when you get home. The thing is, if there's something in this life that you want, but you've never had it before, you're going to have to start doing things a little bit differently. And what I do, so in my seminars and when I do trainings is I have people pair up with what's called an accountability partner. And you form relationships. They could be with a friend, or they can be someone on the other side of the country that you find on Facebook, or they can even be with a virtual assistant if you have one.
Okay.
And what you do is every single morning, you have a 5-minute call with your accountability partner. And what you do is you tell your accountability partner what it is you're going to do that day. 5 simple little tasks. They don't have to be complicated. They can be simple. But they have to get you towards that goal that you want to achieve. And they have to incorporate some of the things that you learned from that seminar. And your partner can do that with you as well. You set that up. The next morning, you have a call. What you do is you go through the list. You ask your partner the 5 questions. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? And they do that with you as well. So let's say that you committed to making a video to post on Facebook. You committed to calling a prospect and sending out an email. Did you do that? And these are yes or no questions. So there's no justify, there's no blaming, there's no complaining, there's no excuses. It's just, did you do this? Yes or no? And if you commit to doing this on a daily basis, then it'll be a lot easier for you to incorporate the stuff that you learned at these seminars. So if you do come back the next year, you'll find yourself in a much bigger, better position. So in a position much closer to where you wanted to be right at the end of that seminar when you were all hyped up on the emotion and the energy and on that wavelength.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a way for you to gain some traction towards your goals, your visions, your dreams, the things that you say you want. You have to be implementing the action to get to this stuff. You know, it's not just wishful thinking that'll get you there, or, you know, like from the movie The Secret, you know, like how people thought they were just going to visualize and things was just going to magically appear. You literally do have to do this stuff.
So those little things will change your life. And you actually said a really, really interesting word earlier there, Valerie. You said the word action. And that is another thing which keeps people from getting what they want. They're not willing to take action. They want the $10 million company, but they think they have to go build a $10 million company. The thing is, you don't have to build a $10 million company. You have to do small little things that'll get you there. And also you have to make sure you're actually getting towards your goal, not just spinning around in circles. So I actually like the word inspired action that will get you to your goal. So if you're going to post daily Facebook videos, if that's not getting you to your $10 million company, you're either not posting the right videos or it's just not helping at all, then either change the way you do your videos, get someone to teach you how to do better videos, or do something else.
I like that. And, that's the real part of growth is making the right changes, so it's not like you're failing at nothing. You're just changing stuff, So I think this is a good leading into rejection, because I know you talked about that before. Yeah. So I wanted you to, just dialogue a brief bit about rejection, how people can handle this rejection out here. Because like a lot of people, if they get turned down on something or they get refused about something, that really just takes them back,
Yeah, and that's true. But here's the thing. Rejection, is there such thing as rejection? Like, I think rejection is a myth. You're the only person that can reject yourself. So, for example, let's say that I want an angel investor. I want to start up a company. I want to invent a new app, but I need some capital. So if I were to go to the first person that I call up and set up a meeting, I do a presentation for them, but they say, thanks, but I'm not interested. Did they reject you?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So before you went in and asked for the money, you didn't have money.
Right.
You went in, you made your presentation. They said, no, you still don't have money. So you're no further ahead, that's true, but you're no further behind either. So those feelings that you have, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe this is a bad idea, that is actually you telling yourself that, you rejecting yourself. If I were to go up, and I'm happily married, but let's hypothetically say that I'm single, and I were to find a girl to ask out on a date, and she says no, that ego, her bruised ego from that, or any feelings that I have, that's all me that I created that. She didn't do that. No one can reject you. You are the only person that can reject yourself. So when you embark on this journey, it's going to be tough. There are going to be people that'll tell you no, or that you're funny, or that you're weird, or this is not going to help. Don't let that stop you. Exactly. It doesn't matter what other people tell you. It's what you tell yourself after they stop thinking, or after they stop talking. That's the key.
That's the key. After the talking stops. It's what you say to your own self, because we're always talking to ourselves all the time. We're the ones that's talking to ourselves all the time. So I like that, Dan. So if there's any rejecting going on, is you rejecting your own self.
That is correct, Valerie.
That's pretty heavy right there, what you said, Dan, but it's so profound, and it's not the kind of thing that you would just automatically come up with on your own without somebody pointing that out. So thanks for bringing that to light. That's pretty incredible. I mean, you can only reject yourself because it's you that's inside your head. You're the only thinker that's in your mind, so.
To take that a step further, you're the only one who can make yourself feel bad. That's the thing. Like, let's say you got into an argument with your wife. I'm not saying that just happened, but let's say that. And then she insults you, and then she says you're a bad person. It doesn't matter what she says is bad. What matters is what you tell yourself after she's done talking. So if she were to say that to me, but I say, no, Dan, I know who I am. Maybe she's just having a bad day. Maybe she had pent up anger that she wanted to take out on someone else. You were a good person. Then I'll feel much better about that.
Right. And, and it's a shame to say, but there's a lot of people out here that's just on the rampage just to bring others down anyway. So you have to really be careful in the first place with all of that. And that's why it's really important to take command of your own command center, which is your space in your head. You have to take charge of that.
Exactly.
I like mind. That. Yeah, your mind. I love that. So what are some other great secrets you can give me? Give me one more good stuff like that. I like it. This is fun.
So I could actually, why don't I tell you what I do on a daily basis to ensure that this stuff doesn't happen? So when I was growing up, I was not really raised in the best environment. I don't think I've met my dad. I don't know I've not seen him since I was like a year old. And my mom had me programmed with a whole bunch of beliefs and ideas like, you're not a good person unless you help me. Unless you give me money every day, you're not a good person. So I've had to do a lot of work on myself to get to the point where I can give and give and give and convince myself I'm a really good person and get to where I want to be, where is open up a huge company, which I give out and where I give value to others like you, the listener, and give and help you get the life you want. Okay. So what I do is I built myself a whole bunch of habits. So every day when I wake up, I spend a moment and I thank God for giving me this life that I have right now. I'm grateful. And, that's another thing I think a lot of people need to start building into how they're feeling is they need to be grateful for what they have and who they are and the life they have. So a lot of people, if they want more, it's probably because they're not appreciating the life that they have or the amount of money they currently have. It's kind of funny, the way the universe works, if you don't have a lot of money, but you're annoyed and you hate the fact you don't have a lot of money, the universe is just going to say, okay, here, have more, not a lot of money.
Wow.
But if you appreciate what you have, if you appreciate the friends you have, the life you have, the body you have, the universe is going to say, oh, you are appreciating, you love that you have this stuff. Let me give you more of that. So yes, every single morning when I wake up, I thank God. I say thank you for giving me this life, giving me this beautiful wife and daughter, and giving me the chance to make a difference, live out my life mission. And then what I do is I look at my monthly goals. So I'll do my routine, obviously. There's a lot of things. There's things you do as soon as you wake up. But I'll open my phone and I'll look at my monthly goals. So I have a pretty rigid life. So there's 6 big goals and 3 subsections of each goal that I want to achieve that month, and I look at them. I don't do anything intentionally that time because I'm doing my accountability call, but I look at those goals and I program that into my mind. So after that, I have my accountability call with my partner, and again, remember, that's just 5 minutes and just a bunch of yes/no questions. I get to my office, and I think about what's something that I can provide of value to my clients. So it might be sending a positive email. It might be recording a message on Facebook, just inspirational words or a cool tip. And I go through that. Now, because I've programmed my mind with the stuff that I want to achieve that day and that month, I find that I find myself achieving that as the day goes on. Now, at night, before I go to bed, what I do this exercise, which boosts my self-esteem. And I know if you are having trouble with self-esteem or how you feel about yourself, this is an amazing exercise.
Oh, what is it, Dan? What do you do?
I look at myself in the mirror and I compliment myself for the stuff that I did. So let's say that I committed to writing a chapter of my book. I say, good job, Dad. You did an amazing job writing that particular chapter of your book. And then if I played with my daughter, Rachel, for an hour, I compliment myself. I say, Dad, amazing job playing with Rachel for an hour. And amazing job not keeping your mind in a good place, even though your daughter was being a little bit difficult.
Right.
And then right at I end that exercise by saying, and Dad, I love you.
Oh, how sweet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's awesome, Dan. I really like that. That's a great practice to get in the mirror and just compliment yourself and say all the great things as you would to another person. You know, we're good to boost up another person, but you have to do that for yourself too. So I really like that. I'm going to start working on that one too then.
Wow.
I like that. Yeah, just get in that mirror and just kind of go at it, with something really good and wonderful. Then always, finding things to complain about or be down about, because it's easy to see those things, but it's probably a little work is involved in coming up with really good stuff for some people about themselves, So this is a good way to practice that, You've
got to get your mind in a good place. If you want to have a better life, it starts in your mind. You need to start being grateful for what you have and really commending yourself for what your strengths are and what you've accomplished. I was doing some research when I was putting together the book in personal development, and I found that normally in family situations, people will offer negative feedback or an insult 7 times as often as they'll offer a positive comment or a compliment. What's that doing for your subconscious mind? Or what's doing that for your psyche? Yeah. So you're going to start internalizing that. And a lot of people go around believing that they're not good people. And they don't even realize it, but that's because that's how other people have them programmed.
Okay, cool. All right, Dan. So probably the number one thing that most people are thinking about with, personal development is everybody wants more money nowadays. What are you speaking to that? When people say, well, I just want more money. Like you say, you got to be grateful for the money that you already have and open yourself up to get more. So what do you say for those folks?
Well, what are you doing? Okay, first of all, what do you want? What are you going to do with the money? Why do you want so much? And number 2, what are you willing to give up and give in return for that money? See, money is just a tool. And a life of an endless pursuit of money is going to be an empty life, especially since you can't really take money into your next life. So is the money to buy a fancy car? Is the money to build a hospital in Africa or in another part of the world? Figure out what it is you want that money for. I want money because I want to build a company which is worldwide and help people boost their self-esteem and live the life they want to live. Focus on that. Chunk that goal down. Spend right before you go to sleep. Visualize yourself. Live in your ideal life. Your subconscious mind is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Tell your subconscious mind that's what you want. And then your subconscious mind is going to start giving you ideas and inklings and hints as to what you should be doing with your life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this has just been so awesome, Dan. You've put it all together in a book form. And you even have, ways to work with people. And so as our program has come to an end, I want you to take this opportunity and let folks know how they can get onto your website, visit your Facebook page and hook into you, Dan. So give it up.
Yeah, sure. So first place to visit is www.thebookonpersonaldevelopment.com. And right there is so much information on that site. I've spent a lot of money on coaching, but a lot of the stuff that I learned can actually be found on the site. Also, you can claim a free life purpose guide on there. And what happens is with that guide, it's really valuable. It helps you figure out what it is you really want to be doing with your life. That's the first step into getting the lifestyle and income that you've always wanted, getting what you want. You have to figure out what it is first. And also on the site, I have a 7-step formula for success. So it's a 7-step guide. And then a lot of people have this formula, but they'll hide it behind $30,000 coaching programs. I've put this formula on the site. It's the 7 steps you need to take to get from where you are to where you want to be. Lastly, I also post daily articles on facebook.com/personal development book. And what I actually suggest you do right now is go on the site and like it. That way, as soon as I post an article, you'll be notified right away when it is posted. And these articles are high power. I've spent a lot of money improving myself, working on myself, and finding ways to hack life and get the life and income that you want. But I'm giving it to you because I really want you to have this. This is it's really hard to say, pay me $30,000 and I'll give you the information. If the information you need to get the $30,000 is what I need the money for. So all my stuff is free. I'll compile it into information. I might sell it as products later, but the information is on that Facebook page. It's on my website. I encourage you to read it. Do what you need to do to get the income and lifestyle you've always wanted.
Wow. Dan, you've really packaged it all so nicely. I'm so proud of you. Like I
Thanks,
said,
Valerie.
we go way back. And I'm a big fan of yours. And I just admire you because I know the work that you've put into to become the man that you are today, just like what Valerie Kanay has done. We know things about each other.
Yes.
The life is how great you want to make it to be. And we actually love our lives, and
Yes.
we have struggles and things to deal with just like anybody else, but you can really make the most out of your life and have a life that you can really, really enjoy. And that's all we're saying in a nutshell, basically.
Yes.
And Dan is the go-to person to really help you to be able to do that. So Dan, I always enjoy you, and I don't take lightly that you always make and spend time with Valerie Kanay to teach me and all of us all of the great stuff that you've learned and compiled and put together in such a easy, understandable way. And like you said, the information is free. You're not even charging for it. You're a giver at heart. And I think that's the most that I really love about you. I love you, Dan.
Oh, thanks, Valerie. I just really appreciate the chance to talk to you. You're doing amazing stuff too. And if you're listening to this, make sure you check out some of Valerie's other podcasts. There is some amazing stuff she's just putting out there for free. Everything. If you want to do something, the information is out there. You just gotta go do it.
You gotta go do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes, Dan, I would share this. People will email me. They will go to my Facebook private message and they'll ask me for help for the various causes, for different things that they're doing. And I tell them, I personally can't adhere to every issue in life. I say, but I guarantee you, if you watch or listen to the podcast, there's somebody that can. So Just what you're saying, we talk to so many people and we're sharing these calls, we're sharing this information so that everybody can learn and can truly have the life that they want by their own design and creation, because it all starts from within inside.
That is true, Valerie.
All right, Dad. So I think we covered a great deal and a whole lot. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah. Talk to you later, Valerie. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Rich Flow of Life podcast with host Valerie Kanay. We're most appreciative you took the time to be with us, and thank you. For more action, go subscribe to Valerie Kanay Talks YouTube channel and like us on Facebook at Valerie Kanay Talks and follow us on Twitter at Valerie Kanay. Until next time, we love ya.